Do you struggle to use your time effectively? Do you feel like you sit down, spend 10 hours working, and look back with nothing to show for it? Are you sick of surfing the net, scrolling TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, while not really achieving anything? If that's you, I know exactly how you feel. And I know how much anxiety these behaviors can create. If you're self-employed or if you're in sales, procrastination and poor time management is costing you a huge amount of money. If you do the math, it's likely thousands of dollars per month. You need to be able to motivate yourself. You need to be able to set goals and achieve things. Today, I'm going to share how I use the Pomodoro system to consistently get work done. But before that, who am I and what do I know? My name is Sam Marilich and I run Next Venture. We're a recruiting agency that specializes in helping B2B software startups hire salespeople. Before that, I was in recruiting where I had to be motivated and just kind of manage myself throughout my day. I don't have a productivity course to sell you. I'm sharing this because I've found it immensely useful as someone who is self-employed, and I geek out on it a bit. I often talk to my entrepreneurial friends and they often struggle with this stuff as well. So let's crack into it. The Pomodoro Method is pretty simple on its face. A Pomodoro is 25 minutes. You take a 5-minute break at the end of a 25-minute block, and after 4 Pomodoros, you take a longer break, 15 to 30 minutes. I've found that as you become more comfortable with the Pomodoro Method, that the ideal amount of time to get a focused level of work done is about 50 minutes, 2 Pomodoros, and occasionally an hour and 15 minutes, 3 Pomodoros. I am personally not that religious about taking breaks as outlined. I'm going to get into how many I think you can do in a day a little bit later, but first I want to talk about the primary benefits of the Pomodoro system. There's also a good blog post from the folks at Todoist that goes into more detail if you want to follow kind of more letter of the law style. Now the benefits of Pomodoro Method, they start with a single Pomodoro. So if you click away from this video and begin a Pomodoro block on whatever's gnawing at your mind, you're going to experience 2 immediate benefits. Firstly, you're going to go and find after 25 minutes, you've probably got a lot more done than you expect. And secondly, you'll have built a little bit of momentum. I kind of think about this in the same context that I think about routines. I personally think the power of a routine is more about getting you back on track as opposed to a mindless set of tasks you must complete. If you start the day with a whole lot of motivation to do something, I don't think you need to complete your routine. I think it makes way more sense to lean in and get working on whatever you want to start working on. When you run your own business, you likely face a dilemma. You can do any one of 1,000 things: sales, marketing, client work, admin work, strategic planning, operations work. You can go out and see friends. You could just go for a walk. There are so many things that you can do. And none of these options are bad, but it's very easy to get overwhelmed. And we are playing a zero-sum game when it comes to time. If you want to do something, it is at the exclusion of everything else in that current minute. So when you can do anything, it can often be hard to do a single thing. So I've found that the Pomodoro Method is one of those actions that can really help me get back on track. Now, let's talk a little bit about how many hours of work you can do in a single day. I'm going to round up a little bit here and say that 2 Pomodoros takes an hour. Now, most of the time, it takes about 4 hours to really get 2 hours worth of work done. If you work a 9 to 5, you can get about 5 to 6 hours worth of work actually done. And if you want to get 8 actual hours of work done, you need to spend more than 10 hours in a day working. That is if you are being focused. I'm also going to note, if you try and spend kind of more than 8 hours of actual work in a day, it is highly likely that you're not going to have a particularly productive day the next day. So something to keep in mind. You can go heroic, but very hard to be a hero 3, 4, 5 days in a row. The great thing about Pomodoros is that you're competing with yourself, and you quickly go from, I need to start, to, I'm going to beat my high score for last week. There are 3 tools that I use to manage the Pomodoro Method. They're all free, and we're going to go over them today. So I have a Google Sheet that I enter my Pomodoros into. I'm going to show you that in a moment. I use pomofocus.io as a free online countdown tool, and I also just use the clock app on my phone to measure these things. So this is PomoFocus. We've got the long break, the short break, and the Pomodoro, and that the website makes a little bell sound when you've completed a Pomodoro. This is the Google Sheet that I use. So I've anonymized this. I've broken this down into 6 different activities. Been a little bit optimistic with how many hours I think I can work this month. We'll see how I go. And this was how things were looking as of July 6th. So as you can see, it was a little bit of a light start to the week, or a little bit of a light start to the month. But this is what a week looked like for me. When we come to the question of how many Pomodoros you can do in a month, this is what it has looked like for me over the last 6 months. I typically work 5 to 6 days per week. Over those 6 months, I've averaged 252 Pomodoros per month. My median is at 256 Pomodoros per month. I've been doing this fairly religiously since about last September. I did not average 250 last year. It's one of those things where my capacity to get more work done in the same amount of time has improved a lot. May was a really low month for me. I had my parents in town and spent quite a bit of time road tripping. But when we zoom out, I actually think we come to the most important benefit of Pomodoros, and one of the reasons I really love them. Pomodoros give you a really good idea at how your time is spent and how you can make improvements, right? If you value your time at $10,000 per month and you think, oh, I can do 250 work-related Pomodoros, then every Pomodoro is worth $40 to you. So when it comes to buying back your time, you've now got an actual number that's actually connected to a task that you're doing, right? So when it comes to delete, delegate, automate, we actually have real data to work with. It's so easy to waste an afternoon playing with things like Zapier, automating things that don't actually take any time, or to spend thousands of dollars on solutions that don't move the needle. This is one of the things that salespeople are always selling when they sell you software solutions. Oh, you'll save so much time. That time's worth something. Well, is it? Were you actually doing the thing that their solution purportedly saves? I don't know. But what I like about the Pomodoro method is that it gives me concrete data on how long I'm spending on something. And it has allowed me to say, oh, these are areas that are taking up a lot of my time. I think I could use those, I could use that time more effectively, and I could often outsource it for $10 per Pomodoro, or often even less, through a combination of outsourcing to other people or automating part of the work. And that's where I found this just so useful. That's all. It's a short video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and have a great rest of your day. Are you running a venture-backed B2B software company? If so, Next Venture might be able to help you. What we do is we help companies hire their first salesperson, we help companies expand their sales teams, and we help international companies as they make that first US hire. If you'd like to learn more about how we take a very research-driven approach that saves you as much time as possible, I've got a video for you below at yournextventure.co, and book time. We can talk about it and possibly work together.